And Argentinian thoughts with everybody affected by either of those disasters. So LASK lining up in white shirts with 3 thin black stripes down the front, white shorts and socks. Liverpool in their change kit of purple. It's a ground that is packed to the rafters. It only holds around 19,000. Pretty new, only opened back in February. So it's not the venue that LASK hosted the Manchester United or Tottenham against in the relatively recent past. The Italian referee Marco Di Bello gets us underway, and it is Liverpool kicking from right to left, who have the kick on the ball, immediately laid back for Konate. As it's pumped forward, the second ball won by LASK. Tsimikas there to mop up. He goes back for Kelleher, forward towards Gravenberg. And Gravenberg down to the Liverpool left-hand side again for Tsimikas, and then the Dutchman has his ankles swept away from him. Flecker, the right wing-back, the guilty party. The first free kick of the afternoon goes Liverpool's way.
Well, he's lucky, Flecker, there, early on in the game. To be honest with you, it was a really poor challenge. Lovely turn from Gravenberg to get away from him. He just came in from the right-hand side and completely took him out right in front of the referee. You're quite right about Bajcetic. He is starting as the right back. Endo will play as the sitting midfielder.
He's very highly regarded by Bajcetic. Is he somebody that can play in the right back role as right back has become redefined in the 2023-24 season, and the way that, say, John Stones plays it as an inverted fullback alongside a central midfielder? Get your thoughts on that in a moment. Flecker drives it in here, comes off Tsimikas, and LASK have the first corner of the night. Yeah, how you see Bajcetic play?
Yeah, Bajcetic is a very good footballer, Jim. Young lad, he's got a great future in the game. Watched him quite a few times last season in the centre midfield, done very well. He's a player that can play in a variety of positions, and you're certainly right about him being an inverted fullback coming in to a more central role and helping out that way.
So Horvath takes this corner on the LASK right-hand side. It's an away swinger that Tsimikas at the corner of the 6-yard box could easily head away. And out of play for another corner. And again, Horvath will go across to take it, one of the more experienced men in this LASK side. So another away swinger volleyed back into the fray after Liverpool's initial defensive clearance, but it wasn't the best ball in from Jovicic. Liverpool can easily clear, and he goes out of play for a throw on the LASK left with a couple of goalless minutes behind us on Talksport 2.
Well, they had 2 set plays there, didn't they? 2 corners where Horvath took. Both of them were really poor. You know, you're working at in training, and you've got to get a bit of height, put it in towards the penalty spot. He's hit both of them virtually towards the near post, where there was none of his teammates there, so it was easy for Liverpool to defend against it.
2.5 minutes in, another long throw inside the penalty area. Kelleher thought about coming to meet it. It was won firstly though by Konate with a big header at the near post. We're just struggling to get out at the moment. The LASK fans not sure how their team would approach this. Liverpool on the counter-attack have a rest-side of goal in the opening stage of Darwin Núñez, blazing high and wide from a very tight angle. They are, generally speaking, a side that like to take the game to the opposition. They won't sit back, or they will show aptitude on the counter-attack, but that's not their most potent weapon. They've been in half-decent form. They've won 5 of the last 7 games. But I think inside the opening 3 minutes we can already see what the approach of Thomas Sagada's men is going to be. They are going to take the game to Liverpool wherever they can.
Technically they're very good, aren't they? And they've got a good attitude about them. We've just seen there 2 players really on top of Bajcetic. It's not giving them any time in that full-back position to sort out his pass to one of his teammates. So they've won it back in a good area now in that final third of Liverpool.
Liverpool trying to bring the ball away. First significant goal of the afternoon has gone in Poland, where Aston Villa are already behind in their first group game in the Europa Conference League. They trail Legia Warsaw by a goal to 0. Rennes leading Maccabi Haifa by a goal to 0 in the Europa League. We will keep you up to date with all of the goals as they go in. Diaz laying the ball down the left-hand side for Tsimikas' run. It was easily Mopped up by Flecker, sliding it out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Liverpool left-hand side. 4 gone, 0-0.
Well, that's where Liverpool have got to get a little bit more width. Have you seen the run that Tsimikas made? It was too straight. You know, he should really have came out to the touchline. Really, made it a bigger pitch and an easier ball for Diaz to pick the ball out. And as it was, Diaz tried to play it through to him, but played it straight to Flecker.
Here's Endo, turning it neatly through the midfield, and Gravenberg, who's got 10 yards of space ahead of him, attacking that space. It's taking a deflection off Flecker and goes through out of play for Liverpool's first corner.
Yeah, good run there from Gravenberg. He had options over on this left-hand side with Diaz, had made a run infield from the left wing, also in Nunez. But it looked like Jim both of them made the same run, so they're running into the same area. I just think on that occasion Nunez should have held his position, allowed Diaz to come in, and it would have been an easier ball for Gravenberg to pick him out.
So Liverpool's first corner, a left-footed in-swinger from Tsimikas. Plenty of air underneath that. Van Dijk winning it. The second header won by Andrade. At the back, Bajcetic keeping his nerve under pressure as it looked as though there was a potential chance for Havel on the counter-attack. The two wingers incidentally for LASK playing the other way round to that they played in the league game of the weekend. Havel back on the left-hand side with Ljubicic on the right. And it is Havel, who scored on his full debut for LASK at the weekend, who has possession. A low left-footed ball in from him. Didn't hit his target. LASK win it back. Elliott just giving it away. Cross flashes inside the 6-yard box, and Kelleher then very gratefully grab it into his midriff. 6 gone, and LASK caught the eye in the early stages, but still 0-0.
Reynolds getting forward from the left wing-back position, isn't he? Also, you look at Flecker, he's getting really tight on Diaz or Tsimikas. Whoever comes forward, you know, that's his job as a right wing-back, is to get nice and tight and win the ball back quickly.
Good ball out towards the Liverpool left-hand side. Diaz. Nunez waiting in the middle. He's got Elliott and Doak. They're both forward as well. Tsimikas. Back towards Luis Diaz. Diaz level with the edge of the penalty area. Just slows things down. And there's a little injection of tempo as he plays the ball briskly out towards Tsimikas. Back he goes for the Liverpool captain, Van Dijk. Inside the centre circle is Konate. Doak showing in space on the Liverpool right, but Konate's turned the other way. To Van Dijk, to Tsimikas again. Now Luis Diaz coming into an inside left position. Plays it back for Konate. Elliott's found that little bit of space. Didn't find control too easy, but the loose ball ricochets through for the 17-year-old Scot, Ben Doak. Doak made a couple of appearances for Celtic prior to his move to Anfield. Back in possession, not the tallest. A dark head, quite thick set. Lays it back for Elliott. Endo helping it on through the midfield. This is much better from Liverpool. Nunez trying a crossfield ball which hit Gravenberg rather than going through to Tsimikas. Doak wins it back. Now it goes out towards Darwin Nunez. Doak has it again. Easy ball for Elliott. Nunez trying to get there after Elliott's misdirected pass, and then Doak has given a free kick away over in the left back position for LASK.
I'll tell you what though, Jim, that was a really good passage of play from Liverpool, wasn't it? About 20, 30 passes that they made there. And what's happening is Luis Diaz is making a run from the left wing into a more central position, and Flecker is going with him, which is leaving so much room for Tsimikas to get forward from that left back position. Also, that was the first time I've seen Bajcetic as an inverted fullback coming into a more central position, and I think we'll see more of that as the game progresses.
Goalkeeper Lawal playing out from the back for LASK. Aston Villa have equalised in that game at Legia Warsaw. 1-1 after just 6 minutes. Jon Duran has equalised for Villa. He's had a very good goal-scoring start of the season. Ball out of play for a Liverpool throw by Cetic, whose father was a Serbian international. Will take the throw. Just waiting for a little bit of movement to come to his left-hand side. This the first ever match between these two clubs. LASK have played English opposition 4 times in the past. They were beaten home and away by Manchester United in a 7-1 aggregate defeat in the 2020 Europa League. And then they took 1 point from 2 games against Spurs the following season in the group when they held them to a 3-3 draw at home, coming back from a 3-1 late on in that game. Harvey Elliott's got the ball. Finding Tsimikas, now back to Van Dijk, and Konate will pick it up. Hardly moved from the centre circle so far. Konate out towards Elliott. Doak despite his tender years, looks very confident with the ball into feet. And looks as though he knows where it's going next, can see the game unfolding very quickly ahead of him. He's hardly misplaced the pass so far. Elliott trying to get in there. Nunez he will take it out towards the right-hand touchline. Was just given a little shove by Andrade. And it's going to be a throw which will be taken over on the Liverpool right-hand side. Just a strong defensive play by Andros Andrade, the Panamanian who played in the final of the CONCACAF Gold Cup recently. He's just one of 2 internationals in this LASK starting 11. Bajcetic taking the throw for Liverpool. 10 minutes gone here on Talksport 2. Jim Proudfoot and the former Liverpool player Ray Houghton talking through the action. Liverpool, after surviving in the opening 3 or 4 minutes, having much more control latterly, but just wasting an opportunity to try and get Doak in there. It's out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think they've been much better in possession, Liverpool. They've worked it well from one side to the other, getting numbers and possession of the ball. That final ball was played over the top. I can understand why they're trying to do it. They're just trying to, as LASK come forward, there's a bit of space in behind, so they're just trying to utilise the pace in the team with that ball over the top. Just on the pitch itself, Jim, it's cutting up. I know you were saying it's a new stadium, but you know, Liverpool's been used to playing in, you know, absolutely pristine pitches, and you can just see markings on the pitch where, you know, there's been a few challenges of where the players have gone in and there's marks over the pitch. So it's not running it really, just something the Liverpool players will have to get used to.
Yeah, possibly hasn't been watered quite as much as Liverpool would have liked either. Gravenberch playing it forward here. Nunez, Doak again in space on the right. Elliott the furthest forward of his teammates. Doak taking it on inside the penalty area, getting to the byline. Good ball in. Andrade cleared it, and Doak lets it run out of play over the line for a corner.
Yeah, that's where he shows his real talent. I mean, as I said to me, I think he's equally as depth going on his right foot as his left. You know, he's happy either foot. There, he just waited a little step over, bit of pace to get beyond the wing back, and then he's fired it. And I didn't think it was a bad ball, to be honest. There just wasn't enough movement from his strikers to get in front of the defenders, or else they could have had the tap in. But certainly at the moment, it's Liverpool that's asking the questions.
So here's their second corner, and headed away emphatically on the edge of the 6-yard box by Andrade. Comes back out for Elliott. Elliott down to the corner taken again. Tsimikas is in very deep, and Van Dijk was nearly there. That's an outstanding defensive header, just getting ahead of Van Dijk to be able to squeeze it away for another corner. Zerais, the defender involved. Wonderful shape on the ball from Tsimikas, and it looked as though it was going to be a headed tap in for Van Dijk, and just nicked out of his flight path.
Brilliant defending, wasn't it? It was a really good, and it was one of them balls that delivered in from Tsimikas, but the keeper can't come from it. There's too many bodies in his way, so he can't come and collect it, and the defender's done absolutely magnificently well there, just to get a flick on it to take it away from Van Dijk. 12 gone, 0-0. Bajcetic will take this latest Liverpool corner. Van Dijk again amongst the aerial targets. Endo's in there trying to block off some of the defensive markers. It wasn't a good ball in. Too low and skiddy. Harbaugh can clear. And then Elliott's touch was a poor one. Actually struggled at the start of this game. The counter-attack is on. 3 against 3. Zulia making his way through the middle. Horvath, one of the shorter players on the pitch, only 5'7". Works it square out to his left-hand side and gets a return ball. Now chips it round the back of Bajcetic. The left wing-back Renner has made a good run. Kanate trying to block the cross. He can't. Harbaugh letting it run. And a shot on the turn deflects off Van Dijk and smooths over the bar and out of play for a corner. Yeah, good play all round there from LASK down that left-hand side. Talked about Renner getting forward from the left wing-back position. Shouldn't have been allowed to get the crossing. Kanate's got to do a lot better to get a block in. And then Zulic, with his strike, he got away from Van Dijk, who just got the meanest of touches on him, which elevated it over the top of the crossbar. But better that passage of play from LASK.
Yeah, decent attempt from the LASK captain. Here comes LASK's third corner. In across the edge of the penalty area. Right footing shot, brilliantly taken. Flecker gives LASK the lead. Some celebration as well. The acrobatics as good as the strike. And that is a wake-up call for Liverpool, whose Europa League campaign starts with a concession inside 15 minutes. Corner right back to the edge of the penalty area, and 20 yards out, Flecker rifled it, only about a couple of feet off the ground, but he smacked it with ferocity past Kelleher, and Liverpool trail in Austria by goal to nil.
I say this stadium is absolutely erupted, Jim. Jurgen Klopp can't quite believe it in his technical area. Firstly, needless corner to give away. Ganate's got to get a block in initially, but this is a corner that they've worked on. Ball played out to Flecker, good first touch. What about that for a strike? It's gone through a crowd of players. Don't think Kell had a good view of it. Not sure who saved it anyway. The power, the direction into the far corner. And after Liverpool maybe been the better team for the last 5 minutes or so, find themselves 1-0 down to an outstanding strike from Flecker.
And Florian Flecker is playing the 250th game of his career today, scoring his second goal of the season. I'm going to concentrate a few moments. Nobody saw that coming, I think it's fair to say. Here's Diaz. Played out to Doak on the Liverpool right-hand side. 15 gone. Liverpool trailing 1-0. Doak right across the 6-yard box. And nobody could get there to tap it in. And the 17-year-old looks at his teammates with hands outstretched as if to say, can't believe that nobody was there. It should be 1-1.
I'll tell you what, that's twice, Jim, in quick succession, isn't it? Where he's faced up the left wing back, the little step over, got past him with a little bit of pace, and he's fired them 2 brilliant balls. Someone's got to be acting on that. I think Nunez was just caught on his heels at the back post, didn't anticipate the ball being played across the 6-yard box. If he had, it's a simple tap-in. But someone from Diaz, from Nunez, someone has got to be running into that area to put the ball into the back of the net.
LASK 1, Liverpool 0. Villa 1-1 away to Legia Warsaw. Aberdeen are trailing in Germany away to Eintracht Frankfurt. That's in the Conference League. The other game in Villa's group in the Conference League, incidentally, there's been a goal there as well, and AZ Alkmaar are leading away to the Bosnian side, Zrinski. Zrinski, who LASK knocked out in the qualifying round in this competition, which is why they parachuted down into the Conference League, and they're trailing in that game. Liverpool bringing the ball forward now with Gravenberg. Gravenberg just couldn't quite get the angle right as he tried to bring Luis Diaz into it, and it goes out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Liverpool left-hand side on halfway. 16 minutes gone. It's LASK 1, Liverpool 0 on Talksport 2.
Gravenberg there went the wrong way, Jim. He should have went out to Nunez over on the right. Just took too long in possession of the ball there. There was a foot race down that right-hand side between Andrade and Nunez. Nunez looked favourite to get beyond him. He's trying to reverse it back into the path of Luis Diaz when it was really not on to do that. It was a much tougher ball to play there from Gravenberg.
Now it's given away to Gravenberg on the edge of the penalty area, threaded in towards Elliott, back for the big Dutchman, but he couldn't get his feet adjusted in time, and Andrade clears. He's had a good start of this game, the Paraguayan at the heart of the LASK back line. Back it'll come from Konate. Liverpool still well inside opposition territory. Another good ball forward for Doak, who has shone in these early stages, but that cross just drifts over the dead ball line and out of play for a goal kick.
Well, he done well to try and keep it in, didn't he? But here's Harvey Elliott with a little threaded ball through between the left-sided centre-back and the left wing-back for the run-up. Doak got plenty of pace, but just a little bit too much on it from Elliott, and he couldn't quite get the ball back into a decent area inside the 18-yard box. But Gravenberg is actually, I quite like him. I think he's made some really good forward runs. You know, he's got involved in a lot of the build-up play, and I think so far in the opening 18 minutes that his manager will be happy with what he's done so far.
Now we've got more live football for you on the Talksport network tomorrow. England taking on Scotland in the Women's Nation League at the Stadium of Light. Joe Shannon, the former lead striker, Lucy Ward talking through the action along with our England football correspondent Faye Carruthers. That's a 7 o'clock build-up for a 7:45 kickoff over on Talksport tomorrow night, and then Saturday game day live with Adrian Durham, Ray Parlour and Trevor Sinclair. The award-winning Adrian Durham with all the goals as they go in from the Premier League and the EFL, including Manchester United, Brighton, Spurs, then Sheffield United and West Ham against Manchester City. I've got a feeling I know how those are going to go. I think Brighton will win at Man United, Spurs will beat Sheffield United late, and Man City will come from behind at West Ham.
Do you think
That's
so?
my guess.
Is that your guess?
Yeah, Adrian will actually bring you the goals of the games that are taking place this coming Saturday. Here's Elliott swinging the ball inside the penalty area, and the header goes over the bar from Darwin Núñez.
I think that's a poor miss, Jim. I've got to be honest with you. I mean, it's a fantastic ball from early. It's gone between the two centre-backs. Núñez has gone into a great position. He never got over the top of it. That's where you've got to get up and power the header down. He sort of let it just come off his forehead. And he didn't get any real conviction to score. You'll be disappointed he's not done better there.
Yes, Saturday's Game Day Live. The goals as they go in, including Manchester City against Forest, Luton against Wolves, Leicester against Bristol City as well. And on Saturday afternoon, Luton against Wolves in the Premier League is exclusive here on Talksport. It's not on UK TV. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff Saturday afternoon. We'll also bring you Burnley against Manchester United. United under real pressure, having lost 4 of their 6 games so far this season. That kicks off at 8 on Talksport on Saturday night. This one, 19 minutes in. LASK 1, Liverpool 0. Brilliantly worked set piece. Magnificently volleyed in by Florian Flecker. That's the difference between the two sides. Diaz claiming that he was fouled there, but the Italian referee didn't see it that way. And it's a free kick which will be taken to restart play by LASK. They've worked it back. The intense Liverpool press is very evident, but LASK able to largely play through it. They've done well actually with Lukenda, the left-footed of the 3 centre-halves. Endo has won it back in the midfield for Liverpool. And now Gravenberch has a little bit more space. And he can turn neatly and play down to his left-hand side for Luis Diaz. Diaz goes back behind square for Endo. Endo to Tsimikas. Tsimikas to Van Dijk. Now Gravenberch. Work forward towards the edge of the penalty area for Lukenda. Tsimikas is able to put his foot on the ball in the midfield and win it back and play down towards the Liverpool left-hand side for Luis Diaz. 20 minutes gone and Liverpool trailing 1-0. They've been the better side over the whole piece, but they do find themselves behind. Bajcetic, the right back, playing in this inverted full-back role alongside Endo in the midfield as he plays it off to Konate. Van Dijk has it now. Liverpool stringing the passes together easily enough, but not always able to make the kind of ground that they want. They will try to now. The good ball forward from Elliott towards Núñez. They're coming on to it on the edge of the penalty area. Doak couldn't get the touch that he wanted. It'll be brought away and then given away to Tsimikas. Gravenberch gives it back to him. Tsimikas from distance, but he's cut across it and fires it well wide. 1-0 LASK.
He's not renowned from that area of the pitch, Jim, for hitting the target or scoring goals, Tsimikas, but he has got forward to good effect over on this left-hand side alongside Luis Diaz. But overall, I think Jurgen will be happy with the first 22 minutes, apart from the scoreline. But the general play's been good, hasn't it? You know, they've worked the ball well from a central position over to the right. We've seen young Ben Doak get in behind the left wing back on 2 occasions, fired two terrific balls across the 6-yard box, which Liverpool should have done better with. Yeah, and then Harvey Elliott's cross for Darwin Núñez. He had a free head and really should have done a lot better. At least made the goalkeeper work. But they find themselves a goal down, but they won't panic at the moment because of the way that they're playing and the position that they've had.
Gravenberch fouled, and a free kick given away by Ljubicic, who really caught the eye in LASK's win of the weekend. He scored 9 goals in his first 4 games last season after moving to the club from Hajduk Split. They certainly dried up after that. It wasn't a well-timed challenge there as he just caught the ankles of Ryan Gravenberch. Jovicic made sure he wasn't going to get any further. Free kick given away and the chance for Tsimikas to swing it in. LASK keeping a high line, a couple of yards outside the penalty area. But Konate amongst those forward as it's played in close to the penalty spot, easily headed away by a man in white. Elliott will pick up the second ball out to the Liverpool right-hand touchline. Lay back for Bajcetic. And he will play it across to the Liverpool left-hand side for Tsimikas. Gravenberch dropping back. Endo. Former Stuttgart man to Konate. And then he goes all the way back for Corvine Kelleher.
The better pressing there wasn't from LASK. You know, they've done it with numbers. They didn't do it individually or in 1s and 2s where Liverpool can pick them off. You know, they all went as a team there and just forced Canata to go back to Kelleher.
Well, it's been a night where Villa trailed early in Europe and got back on level terms, and Aberdeen have done exactly the same. After Marmoush's penalty gave Eintracht Frankfurt the lead, Polvara has equalised, played in by Nicky Devlin, to make it Eintracht 1, Aberdeen 1 in that game in Germany. That's a Conference League match. Villa still 1-1 in their game away to Legia Warsaw. In the Europa League, Bayer Leverkusen lead the Swedish side Häcken by 2-0. Rennes 1, Maccabi Haifa 0. Liverpool trailing here. Every other Europa League game is goalless at the moment. Well, best of luck to both West Ham and Brighton in Europa League action. Some story for Brighton.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Listen, watching them over the last season or so under the new manager, the football he got them playing last season was exceptional. You know, they were a great watch. Anytime I went to watch Brighton play was always a joy. Just the way the players played, the attitude that they've got. He was always so positive every game that they went into, and you're just hoping they can replicate it tonight in Europe. And it's a massive night for all Brighton supporters, and I'm sure the stadium will be packed for all the fans to go and watch, and I'm sure they're really excited to see their team play in Europe.
Now, there was a day back in the season where Brighton were at their lowest ebb, where it was called Fans United. Brighton in danger of going bust, and the supporters from loads of different clubs around the country turned up for a Brighton match at home to Hartlepool, and they ended up winning 5-0. They were bottom of the table at the time. They won it 5-0, and lots of supporters turned up. And I'm sure that everyone went there and saw Brighton at their very lowest ebb. Will be delighted at the fact that they're about
You've got to give the owner there.
Oh, absolutely.
He's been sensational, isn't he? I mean, the way that he's allowed the manager to get on with the job, the recruitment at Brighton is as good as anyone's. You know, that's reflected on the amount of money that they've got back on transfers, the players moving on from the team, and yet year on year, you know, they still are very active as far as where they are in the league itself.
Diaz will chase a long ball that has been played for. Brighton in action later. We'll keep you up to date over on Talksport with all the goals as they go in from that game, from West Ham's game as well. Aston Villa have just gone 2-1 down in Poland, away to Legia Warsaw. Legia 2, Villa 1. LASK 1, Liverpool 0 in this. What a long high ball play for now. Nunez might be offside here. He's controlled it, brought it down, hits a left-footed volley which is blocked. Goes out of play for what's been given as a Liverpool throw. There is VAR, but the flag didn't come up. Play restarts with that throw rather than a free kick, which has gone LASK's way. A little bit of breaking news, incidentally, in the Championship. Huddersfield have announced Darren Moore as their new manager. Takes over from Neil Warnock. It was Warnock's last game last night. Moore, who once played for Warnock down at Torquay some 30 years ago, replacing him at the helm in West Yorkshire.
Did Neil say that's his last club, or shall we see a return?
No, it won't be his last club. He's only 74. He'll be back, don't worry. Not a chance.
You know, he said he's blood, Neil, isn't he? A bit like Roy Hodgson. They just love being in and around the training ground and match days. Especially the stadium's been brilliant. You know, the noise in the stadium, the supporters are in there, the home support. Can't believe that their side are 1-0 up against Liverpool at the moment.
Only had the one defeat so far this season, which came at Sturm Graz. Now Liverpool still unbeaten in 16 games in all competitions. Here's Diaz. Oh, it's a great ball for now. Nunez, left-hand side of the penalty area. Time to bring it down. Checks back. Gravenberg picks it up, edge of the area. Endo to his right. That's a really good block. Horvath throwing himself into the line of fire. Loose ball ricochets out of the Liverpool right for Bajcetic. Bajcetic getting to the corner flag, and thought that he was upended. Ended up going down on his knees, and the assistant referee, who was well placed, said no foul, goal kick. And as if to prove a point, Bajcetic picks up his loose white boot, which had been put on the turf after the challenge from Lubicic, sticks it back on.
Yeah, I think Lubicic has got. He's just pointing out to the assistant referee he's lost his boot from the challenge from Lubicic. He just stuck out his right leg and got. But just previous to that, Jim, that ball from Luis Diaz to Darwin Nunez, it was just slightly overhit. If he'd have just played it, you know, to his feet a little bit more, he would have been through 1v1. As it was, he had to chase after it, he had to turn back, and that allowed LASK to get numbers back behind the goal. They've done that well, in fairness to them. You know, when you look at the three central defenders, as soon as they lose it, back into the defensive positions.
Julia. Now the centre forward inside the penalty area. Harbour waiting, but the ball from Ljubicic didn't get there. Now Konate beaten far too easily by Julia. He was claiming he was fouled, but play was allowed to continue. Jurgen Klopp's making the point to the fourth official, Rosario Abiso, that should have been a free kick. We'll just have a look at a replay here.
It looked like just pulled him back there, didn't it, Ljubicic? Not spotted by the referee or the assistant. I mean, that could have been very costly for Liverpool. As he took the strike on, there was enough numbers back there to get a block in.
Now it's a good block by Van Dijk. In comes a throw from the LASK left, half cleared, and then a looping attempted across from Horvath, just sailed straight out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken by Quaveen Kelleher. 29 minutes here. LASK leading 1-0 as they've done for the last 15 minutes here on Talksport 2. What do you want to see more of from a Liverpool perspective?
Just they were getting more numbers in the box when they were putting crosses into the box. You know, they've dominated possession for the majority of this opening 30 minutes or so of the game, but you've got to be careful on the counter-attack. You know, we've seen Renner getting ball from the left wing-back position. We've seen Flecker with a goal. What a strike that was from 20 yards out on the angle. So there's still a threat, and if they get a second goal, then it would be a real uphill battle for Liverpool.
Renner to take the throw, launching it inside the penalty area. Headed back by Zarais, the centre-half who was forward. Tsimikas can then win it, and a counter-attack might be on here for Liverpool, as Endo just lays it down the left-hand touchline. Nunez will use his pace to get down towards the corner flag and get there first. Faced up by Jovicic, able to play back for Tsimikas. Ball in towards the near post. Goalkeeper got a foot to it to clear it, and somehow it was smuggled away from Gravenberg into safety. Liverpool will be able to come again. Konate out towards Bajcetic on the right. Certainly Liverpool don't deserve to be behind in this game. They've had some moments. Doak just trying to take on one too many on that occasion, but they're paying him plenty of respect when he gets the ball at his feet. He's had 2 or 3 white shirts around him, and he's very unlucky there that as he tried to win the ball back cleanly, the referee has found against him, and it's a free kick. Possibly just hit his hand, and it's a free kick that LASK will take inside their own half.
Another brilliant ball delivered in, though, wasn't it? Tsimikas with the delivery into the 6-yard, but the goalkeeper can't come for it for the fear that a Liverpool player, Gravenberg, might get a touch on it. So you can see that he's rooted to his goal line, and he had to just stick his left boot out to clear the danger. But Liverpool have got to do better in that 6-yard box. That's 3 brilliant balls that have been put in there, and there's no one in there to finish it off.
Those are the thoughts of the former Liverpool player Ray Houghton. LASK leading his old club by a goal to nil here on Talksport 2. Liverpool have only lost to Austrian sides once in 8 meetings. It was a home defeat to Graz back in 2004. They held on to win 2-1 on aggregate. That was the second leg, and they went on to lift the trophy in Istanbul that season. So it just goes to show that European campaigns can have the odd isolated bad result, and matches where you don't expect to lose, it's not the end of the world. The other teams in this group, Union Saint-Gilloise of Belgium, they're 9th in the Belgian league at the moment. They've lost to 2 of their 6 league games. Toulouse in the bottom 6 in the French league have only won 1 out of 5 so far. Incidentally, both of those two playing each other at the moment. It's still 0-0. That game in Belgium between those two. LASK leading Liverpool here 1-0, who at the moment at bottom of the group. Konate has been able to defend that latest foray forward from Renner down the left-hand side. It goes out of play for a goal kick. 32 gone.
The last few minutes you've seen the likes of Habo and Ljubicic interchanging positions. You know, they're not just staying one on the right, one on the left. They've been given that little license to rotate around. You've seen with Zulia, he doesn't play as a normal 9, does he? He's a normal centre forward. He actually plays a little bit deeper in the 10 role, which is posing problems for Liverpool because the 2 centre halves, Konate and Van Dijk, but no one really to mark. Endo is the one that's picking up Zulia. So they've just got to try and work that out, the Liverpool players. You know, when you're defending, maybe Van Dijk and Konate can come out and help out the midfielders a little bit more.
Diaz winning it back in the midfield. Has drawn the centre-half Andrade out of position with him. And now Liverpool can poke it forward, Gravenberg. And Diaz trying to ride the challenge, and it's well won back by Jovicic. Good play by the midfield spoiler to win it cleanly and put it out for a throw.
Enforcer. enforcer. I would say that he is. He loves the challenge, doesn't he, Jovicic? And that's 3 or 4 occasions he's got back. I mean, he doesn't look the quickest, but there's a couple of occasions where he's run down the channel there with Nunez, who's meant to be one of the quickest players in the Liverpool team. He's actually kept pace with him, relative pace with him, not allowed him the freedom to get beyond him and run infield to maybe get a shot at goal or set up one of his teammates. He's getting through so much work in the centre of the midfield there.
Yeah, Jovicic, one of 2 internationals in this side. Andrade, the Paraguayan, and Panamanian, I beg your pardon, at centre-half is the other. Jovicic has won a couple of caps for Serbia. He was in the Red Star Belgrade side that beat Liverpool in the Champions League back in 2018. He also scored the aggregate winner in the qualifying round against Bosnian opposition that got LASK through into the group stage. First time they've been in it for 3 seasons. Liverpool having to defend again, but defend very comfortably. Van Dijk taking it down towards the left-hand touchline, just chopped it back inside onto his right foot, sends it forward long. LASK winning it on halfway, but then as they work it forward, the youngster Havel's offside. That's a free kick that Liverpool will take in their left-back position. Slavia Prague leading at Servette 1-0 in the Europa League. And Azad Alkmaar 2-up away to Zrinjski in the other game in Villa's group in the Conference League. Villa 2-1 down in theirs away to Legia Warsaw at the moment. Aberdeen 1-1 at Eintracht Frankfurt. This one sees Liverpool a goal behind with 10 minutes to go to half-time.
Well, we've seen quite a few of the Liverpool players out warming up there. And the manager was bold at the weekend against Wolves. He knew it wasn't going the way he wanted to. So he made a substitution at half-time. And that worked in their favour. And I just wonder, if he just feels that you need to win this. Opening game of the campaign, the 1-0 down, you've got plenty of players that can come on and change the game in your favour. Whether he feels that that's the best way forward, or he gives some of the youngsters, some of the players that need minutes on the pitch, time to really show what they can do in this remaining minutes that they've got.
Dokes won a corner, it's taken by Tsimikas. Van Dijk with the initial header, Nunez then heading in towards goal from only a couple of yards out, and the goalkeeper instinctively threw up her left hand and made the save. Outstanding goalkeeping. It's another corner.
I'd say what a save this. I thought it was in. I mean, Van Dijk's got 2 headers that he's won from a corner kick. He's won it quite comfortably. He's headed that one across the 6-yard box, and Nunez just headed it, and it's never been right, he's headed it on target, but the keeper somehow just got his hands to it to keep it out. I thought it was over the line, but obviously not, because
Liverpool still trailing. Comes the latest corner from Tsimikas. Clear. Gravenberch can't hold it up on the edge of the penalty area and was forced to take matters into his own hands. He's hauled back to the ground and stopped the counter-attack. The referee might book him for that.
Yeah, he might just have a word with him. I've seen that opportunity again. What a save. It's just reactions, isn't it, from the keeper? He's done really well, because initially when the corner went to the far post, you've got to move your body over to that side of the pitch, and then you react to the header going back across the 6-yard box. And he got 2 hands to there, Lowell, to keep it out.
Goalkeeper who was in his first season his first choice, Thomas Lowell. He's only conceded 7 goals in 10 games this season. That was an outstanding piece of goalkeeping. It is just reactions. There was a defender back there as well who might have been able to head it off the line, Lakenda, but it's a brilliant save. Just throwing a left hand up, as you say, just purely out of instinct to deny Darwin Nunez the goal. And Nunez, who has got a couple this season off the bench against Newcastle, 17 in 47 in Liverpool colours, but a little bit worryingly, perhaps he's only scored in 2 of his last 16 games.
But he has looked threatening tonight, though, Jim, isn't he? He's got into some good positions. He's running the channels well. He's had a header which he should have done better with, free header. There, he's in the right position. I don't think you can ask much more of him. He's reacted to it, but an instinctive save from the goalkeeper. But he's looked lively. He's looked a real problem for the back line of Arsenal.
Liverpool trying to end the first half on the front foot. Diaz making his way forward down the left-hand side of the penalty area. It's cleared, out of play for a throw. Night has fallen in Austria. Kanate. Back out towards Bajcetic. Good little 1-2 between him and Doak. Doak trying to turn it onto his left foot to get the cross in, and the free kick has been given against him. Just helping Andrade back up. He's a very combative youngster. It looks as though he could metaphorically punch above his weight. I mean, he's not the tallest by any stretch of the imagination, possibly still growing. I mentioned earlier he's 7 weeks short of his 18th birthday, but he really has impressed.
Yeah, he has.
In what is only his 7th senior appearance in his first start.
Yeah, he's done very well in the minutes that he's played so far in this game. He's always looked a threat. And there, what he does, because he's got that genuine place, he encourages the left wing back in to mark him tight Renner, and he's done exactly that. And they play the little 1-2 around him. But on this occasion, Andrade, who's mainly playing in the centre of a three, he was the one that read the danger and came over to that left-hand side to make the challenge on Ben Doak. And it was an important one as far as LASK were concerned, because, you know, with Doak, he's very elusive and he's got great quick feet inside that 18-yard box.
Another equaliser for Aston Villa in the Conference League. Luca Digne tying it up at 2-2 away to Legia Warsaw. He's had a number of assists this season, Digne. I think that's his first goal of the campaign. 2-2 in Villa's game in Poland. Panathinaikos 1, Villarreal 0 elsewhere in the Europa League. And the other game in Aberdeen's group, incidentally, the deadlock broken there, and the Finnish side HJK of Helsinki lead PAOK by a goal to 0. Aberdeen still on level terms away to Eintracht Frankfurt, which would be a very impressive result. 1-1 the scoreline there. Liverpool trying to get this one back to 1-1, but they've got defending to do, and Konate's just talked his way into the book.
Yeah, he's just argued too much with the referee there once too often. I've got to be fair. It seems every decision is going against Liverpool and it's going in the favour of LASK, and I think that's what Konate was just having a word with the referee from that little coming together between the two players.
Now Julia trying to help it inside the penalty area for Lubicic, half cleared by Liverpool, and the looping effort goes way over Kelleher's bar, out for a goal kick. Haven't really troubled the Irish goalkeeper since the goal from Flecker on 14 minutes, which has given LASK the lead.
Yeah, they still look like, though, Jim, I think that on the counter-attack, they might, if Liverpool overcommit men forward, they might just leave themselves vulnerable to the counter-attack. So they are keeping Havel forward, Julia and Lubicic. You know, they are options for them. And they look like they've got a little bit about them, don't they, as far as, you know, two young lads who like to get on the ball, they want to run at them. Certainly, Havel is getting at by Cecic as often as he can, you know, and that was just coming together between the two players, with Havel just bundling by Cecic over, giving away the free kick.
And he got a yellow card for that challenge as well. So players from both teams booked in the space of a minute. Elliott back for Van Dijk. You're with Talksport 2. 4 minutes to go to half time. Van Dijk playing the ball down towards Tsimikas, who stumbled before he got there, tried to improvise and keep it in. He couldn't. It was a cheap throw given LASK's way, which they took quickly but not effectively. And then Gravenberg is fouled again. Horvat has got away with a number. I would imagine that he's not too far away from a yellow card for persistent infringement.
That should have been a yellow card there, shouldn't it? That's one challenge too many as far as I'm concerned from Horvat. You know, they are competitive, we said about him in midfield with Jovicic. You know, that's where they're in there for. They're enforcers. They're there to win the ball. But when you're constantly fouling, there's the pair of them. They're only niggly fouls. They're not, you know, like going in there to hurt the opponent. But it's just how often it is. Far too often. With Tsimikas, that's 3-4 times balls been played over to him in this left back position. He's not sorted his feet out. I don't know if we'll go back to the pitch again. He's just lost his footing in the turf, and he's given away throw-ins needlessly. That's something the manager would be looking at, and I wouldn't be surprised if Robertson was to come on in that area of the field, because they are missing his driving runs from the left back position.
Yeah, lots of big hitters on the Liverpool bench. If you're just joining us, Jurgen Klopp made 11 changes. Everybody that started the game at Wolves on the bench to be called upon, including the likes of Mo Salah and Szoboszlai. LASK on the front foot. That was a poor challenge from Bajcetic. That will be a yellow card as well. He knew the danger of letting Havel get in behind him, and did everything within his power to make sure it didn't happen.
Yeah, well, see, there's the problem when you're not a natural fullback. You don't pick up the right positions. You know, and there was an overload down the left for LASK there, and Bajcetic didn't quite read it. You know, Konate's caught out of position, and there's Bajcetic just sticking out his left leg, trying to make the challenge to win the ball. Completely mistimed, and he was actually arguing with the referee for the reason why he got a yellow card.
So he's in the book. Another free kick comes in, and it's volleyed away by Tsimikas with his weaker right foot straight out of play for a corner. LASK's fourth. They did score from a corner earlier in the game, from a left wing corner, as you say, from this position. Horvat will come across to take this one again.
Yeah, we've got to be wary of that. You see Liverpool, they don't man mark. It's all about staying in your positions, and you wait for a man to come into your area and you deal with it.
More direct ball inside the penalty area. Kelleher got hands on it, help it away. Back it comes in from Lukicic. Not to good effect, and Liverpool can break on the counter-attack. Tsimikas. That was very well played by the retreating Horvat, who stopped him. Liverpool end up getting a free kick on halfway. Julia coming back, and he's the man that has conceded the free kick, and I think he might pick up a yellow card as well. But it was good play again from Horvat, just stopping Tsimikas with an opportunity to set up a 4 against 3.
Yes, Tsimikas should have played it a lot earlier though, Jim. You just take too many touches in possession of the ball. He had really good options ahead of him. You know, you had Diaz on the left, he had Nunez through the middle, and give him the ball, let them run with it. You know, you're running and the opposition are catching you up. That's why you've got to let the ball do the work. He didn't, and then he allowed the players from LASK to come back and make the challenge on him.
Nunez, surely offside. Yes, he is. Endo poking it forward. Nunez had actually taken it into a part of the field where he was about to lose possession anyway, but the flag came up and it is a free kick in the last knockings of the first half. In Villa's Conference League group, they're 2-2 away at Legia Warsaw, and Alkmaar 3 up now. AZ against Zrinski. Aberdeen still 1-1 away at Eintracht Frankfurt. The other game in that group, HJK leading PAOK 1-0. This one, Liverpool trail LASK of Linz by a goal to nil, and the other game in this group is still 0-0 between Union Saint-Gilloise and Toulouse. Canate gives the referee the thumbs up this time as Havel goes down. It's a Liverpool restart. We're in a minute of time added on at the end of this first half.
I've seen Jurgen Klopp, and he wasn't in his technical area. He's actually sitting on the bench with his coaching staff. And he wasn't talking to them about anything in particular, but you could tell in his own mind he was looking, thinking, right, what do I do now? Do I bring on the big hitters, the players that can maybe win me the game, or do I keep faith with the players that are out there? Because it's not been a bad first half from Liverpool. Just they haven't had enough numbers in the box to finish off the moves that they've created. As I said, 3 or 4 or 5 fantastic balls that they should have done better.
Well, he made a change, as you said, at half-time of the weekend. He took McAllister off and saw Gakpo drop back. But for the second time in a week, Liverpool find themselves a goal down at half-time. They played much better in the first half in Austria than they did at Molineux at the weekend. Jurgen Klopp will be hoping for a similarly transformative response and performance in the second period of this one. Very well-worked set-piece, giving LASK the lead. Out towards Flecker on the edge of the penalty area. He took a touch to set himself, and with his second, he rifled it in past Kelleher. Only some inspired goalkeeping at the other end from Lawal has kept LASK ahead, and his clean sheet intact. Liverpool with a couple of opportunities to get back on level terms, but have been unable to do so far, and there is room for improvement. Half-time, LASK 1, Liverpool 0.
Talksport 2 is your dynamic destination for all the latest sporting action, featuring live commentary of all the biggest events, including football, PGA golf, horse racing, Premiership rugby, cricket, boxing, and all the big-hitting drama of the NFL. Plus, Talksport 2's official betting partner, William Hill, is always on hand with the insight and in-depth analysis you need. Talksport 2 with official betting partner, William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Get up to 10% off thousands of products with Screwfix Trade Bulk Save. Shop now on the app at screwfix.com or in store. Screwfix, the choice of champions. T's and C's apply. Visit screwfix.com for full details.
Hi, I'm Danny Dyer, and welcome to What's That Smell? Ugh, smoky with a hint of burgers. It's my barbecue apron. Luckily, I can make this smell like freshly picked lilies. Just pop it in the washing machine, add some Surf Tropical Lily laundry detergent, and oh, my fave. It smells like my dream holiday. Get long-lasting fragrance with natural essential oils with Surf laundry detergent. You can make anything perf with Surf.
Looking to part exchange your car? At Arnold Clark, we're giving you an extra £500 on top. Any make, any model, any price. So, while costs are going up everywhere else, we're giving you an extra £500 to help make your next car more affordable. Use code ADD500 to get an extra £500 on your part exchange. See arnoldclark.com.
With UK Export Finance, I'm fulfilling more export orders from around the world with working capital support.
Export insurance means I'll get paid when exporting to challenging markets.
At UK Export Finance, we believe no viable UK export should fail for lack of finance or insurance. Between 2022 and 2023, we provided £6.5 billion of government-backed trade finance to support UK exports. Learn how we could help you win export contracts, fulfill orders, and get paid. Search UK Export Finance today.
Morrison's More Card exclusives are your ticket to big savings in store. Like every Friday, get 20% off any fish from our fishmonger on Market Street. So that's more Fish Fridays for the whole family. Download the Morrison's More app today.
More reasons to shop at Morrison's.
Majority of stores subject to availability, excludes online and Morrison's Daily.
You've worked hard to build your business, so it's important it's properly protected. At NFU Mutual, our trades insurance has received a 5-star rating by de facto for the past 10 years. No wonder over 95% of our business insurance customers renew every year. With more than 295 agencies across the UK, we're closer to you, closer to your business, closer to what matters. For quality trades insurance to suit all sizes, search NFU Mutual.
Talksport 2. Traffic and travel.
In Hampshire, the M3 southbound is still partly blocked after a collision. It's happened near junction 11 for Winchester South. In Surrey, the clockwise M25 is partly blocked for repairs in the outside lane at junction 9 for Leatherhead. And in West Midlands, the M5 very slow southbound after a breakdown earlier between junction 3 at Hailstone and the Frankley Services turn-off, so do expect some queues on the approach. I'm Adam Moore.
Talksport Podcast League. Outspoken with White and Jordan.
Listen to the latest show whenever and wherever you want with Outspoken, the podcast from Talksport.
I still think there's a lot of questions that need to be answered.
All killer, no filler conversation.
Did you say that he should be investigated by trading standards?
That doesn't pull any punches.
Yeah, because he was rubbish.
Outspoken with Jim Mighty White and Lord Simon Jordan.
That's a bit over the top.
Well, there we are.
Out now.
Listen or download for free from your favourite podcast portal.
On DAB+, online, via the Talksport app, and on your smart speaker.
Europa League live on Talksport 2.
Times are changing here at Brighton.
First season in the UEFA competition group stage for Brighton.
Brighton in Europe, how good does that sound?
AEK Athens. They will join Group B, where they are together with AFC Ajax, Marseille and Brighton.
In a very strong group, I would say.
I think it's a difficult group for them, and I would be surprised
exciting group
if they come out of it.
A great draw, really. A tough draw, of course, like for Brighton, but at least you play some top clubs. The atmosphere at the Amex is going to be amazing.
All the way. We're ready for it. We want to do as well as possible, and if it doesn't work, so be it. But it's a learning curve, and we're all excited in this journey.
Pulls it back. Jean Pedro! 3-0! What a goal from Jean Pedro! And Brighton have torn Manchester United apart.
It's a tough group. Our own good team, but we are a good team too. No?
What a time to be a Brighton fan right now. What an exciting prospect you've got.
So it is a very big night as far as Brighton and Hove Albion are concerned. Back in 1996 came so close, having lost their ground to losing their Football League status. Tonight they're in Europe. They host AEK Athens at the Amex, the club's first ever European tie. Now let's head down to Sussex now. Our chief football correspondent is alongside Seagull's CEO, Paul Barber.
I'm in the tunnel here at the Amex on what is a historic night for Brighton. I'm delighted to say their chief executive, Paul Barber, has joined me. Paul, I was watching this morning the video montage that your social media team have produced charting Brighton's rise. It gave me goosebumps. How does it make you feel?
It's a bit of a tearjerker, I think, for a lot of people, particularly our fans that have been on that long journey that you speak about. And it's incredible to think that 25 years ago we were almost out of the league, out of business. And tonight we're hosting our first ever European fixture. And it's ironic because it's 122 years to the day that we played our first ever fixture. So it's quite a special occasion for the whole club.
That is some statistic. I mean, there's clubs going through difficult times at the moment, the likes of Reading and Southend United. Do you think the Brighton story gives those supporters hope of what could be achieved in the future?
I think our story, others, I think the English football pyramid generally, I think, gives clubs, gives supporters real hope, and that's why we have to do everything we can to preserve it, preserve the great competitive spirit from League Two and National League all the way up to the Premier League and beyond. And that's something that Brighton fans have literally been on the whole journey with, and we're delighted to be here tonight.
And we know how demanding your manager Roberto De Zerbi is. He'll be wanting to win this competition, won't he?
No doubt about that. Roberto sets really high standards, not just for the players and his staff, but for all of us. And, every day he's pushing us as hard as possible to be better, to push the club to new levels. And I've got no doubt he'll be doing it all the way through this competition.
We could see Ansu Fati potentially make a full debut tonight. I've not spoken to you since that deadline day signing. How on earth did you manage to get that deal done?
One of those opportunities, I think, that sometimes comes the club's way. Great credit to the chairman for backing the move, because it's not a cheap one. But also to Roberto for convincing Ansu that this was a good place for him to come, for him to continue his own football education. And obviously fantastic to work with Barcelona in making that happen. So we're delighted to have Ansu here. Let's hope he makes a big contribution during the season.
And just finally, I was reading an interview that Tony Bloom had given this week suggesting there is no glass ceiling for Brighton. Is that very much the mantra now, that despite what you achieved last season, there is still much more to come?
Well, I think the most important thing is that we stay humble, recognise the journey that we've been on, enjoy the moment, because it's very easy in football to be in a good period and not to enjoy it while you're here. So we keep reminding each other to enjoy these nights and enjoy these moments, but we also want to keep pushing, and we want to see how far that we can take the club. We know that there'll be bumps in the road. We know that this isn't going to be and hasn't been a straight line of success, but we're in a good place at the moment. We've got a good squad, good coaches. The staff are really excited and positive, and I think anything's possible.
Anything is possible indeed. Enjoy tonight, Paul. There you go, Paul Barber, Brighton Chief Executive, ahead of what is a historic night for this football club.
Alex, thank you very much indeed. Brighton at home to AEK Athens. That game kicks off at 8 o'clock. West Ham also begin their Europa League campaign. They're at home to back at Topola. And Rangers are at home to Real Betis in Group C of that competition. In Group E, the game we're concentrating on tonight, Liverpool trailing away to LASK by a goal to nil. We've got the second half to come here on Talksport 2. In the Conference League, a couple of British clubs in action as well. Aston Villa involved in a humdinger of a first half in Poland, away at Legia Warsaw. And watching on Talksport 2's Ian Danter.
Yeah, Legia 2, Villa 2 at the break, Jim. Villa's return to European action been a really entertaining contest, but it only took Unai Emery's men team 3 minutes to fall behind in front of a passionate home support. The former QPR midfielder Pavel Żolek finishing from close range after a left-wing cross caught Villa's defence a bit flat-footed. But within 3 minutes of that, John Duran had levelled it up. Nicolo Zaniolo's terrific 25-yard strike was tipped onto the angle of post and bar by Tobias in the Legia goal, but the big Colombian Duran was there first to head the loose ball home for 2 in 2 games. Legia back in front just after the midway point of the half. Villa caught napping at the back once again. Żołek's cross from the right-hand corner of the box, this time tucked away by an unmarked Ernest Mucci 6 yards out. But 7 minutes from the break, Villa got a second equaliser through a sweet left-footed drive by Luca Dean from the corner of the box, and it could have been 3-2 to Villa late on. Duran on the turn about 8 yards out brought a terrific save out of Tobias, the Legia keeper. You sense more goals to come, Jim, in the second half, but at the break it's Legia 2, Aston Villa 2.
Cheers, Dance, thank you. The other game in that group, Zrinjski Mostar 0, AZ Alkmaar 3 at half-time. Aberdeen also in action, also got off to a very poor start, but have recovered in front of Graham Courtney.
They certainly have, Jim. This one's also been a really good game to watch. Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1 at half-time, and, well, as expected, it was all Eintracht very, very early on. In just, 10 minutes on the clock, Josh McKenzie, he's the Aberdeen left-back. Now, he's just collided with Eric Dina, who was coming to the Aberdeen box with pace, and it was clumsy. Easy one for the referee, pointed straight to the penalty spot, and a very cool penalty put away by the Egyptian striker Omar Marouche. So just the start that Barry Robson certainly would not have wanted, but great response by Aberdeen. 21 on the clock, they got the equaliser, ball square into the Eintracht box, and there was Dante Polvara. He was actually one of just of the 2 changes that were made from the weekend defeat at Hearts by Bobby Robson, and he slammed it in from close range. Really, really good goal by him. Great response by Aberdeen, and that's Aberdeen's first goal in the group stage of a European competition since 2008. It's been a long wait, but well worth waiting for. Half-time in Germany, Jim. It's Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Aberdeen 1.
Now, thank you, GC. So 1-1 there. The other game in that group, HJK Helsinki leading PAOK Salonika by a goal to nil. These are the half-time scores in the early kickoffs in the Europa League. The other game in Liverpool's group, 0-0. Between Union Saint-Gilloise of Belgium and Toulouse. It's Panathinaikos 1, Villarreal 0, and Rennes 2, Maccabi Haifa 0 in Group F. In Group G, Servette 0, Slavia Prague 1, and Sheriff Tiraspol 0, Roma 1. And in Group H, Bayer Leverkusen lead Hecken 2-0, and Karabakh 0, Molde 0. So that brings you up to date with all the scores and the half-time. Second half of LASK against Liverpool coming your way here on Talksport 2. Are you expecting Ray Houghton, the former Liverpool midfielder, that Jurgen Klopp is going to make changes now, or do you think that he'll wait to the more traditional hour mark before rotating the pack?
Jim, I've been asked many times to second-guess Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, good luck.
It's virtually impossible. I really don't know what he would do. I think he'd be reasonably happy the way that the lads performed in the first half. It's just that they haven't scored the goals that the general play has deserved. Now, it was a goal that they should have done better with against, when Flecker struck it from that distance. There should have been someone maybe got a little bit closer to close him down. But he's got so many talented players on the bench that he can change it. And as I said to you, Jim, just before the half-time whistle, he was deep in thought, just sitting on the bench next to his coaching staff. He wasn't talking to them, but he was just going through his head what he should do. So nothing would surprise me with him keeping the same 11, or if nothing changes in the first 10-15 minutes, then he'll make changes there.
And let me remind you of the live football that's coming up for you over the next few days here on the Talksport network. Tomorrow, over on Talksport, England against Scotland in the Women's Nation League at the Stadium of Light, with Joe Shannon and the former lead striker Lucy Ward and Faye Carruthers in the chair. That's a 7 o'clock build-up ahead of a 7:45 kickoff. Saturday, a game day live with Adrian Durham, Ray Parler, Trevor Sinclair and Adrian Clark. All the goals as they go in from the Premier League and the EFL, including Man City Forest, Luton Wolves and Leicester Bristol City. That Luton Wolves game live view as well here on Talksport 2, not on UK TV, that one. Then Burnley, Manchester United, Saturday evening, an 8 o'clock kickoff. Manchester United already under fire, 3 league defeats and a disappointing performance in Europe yesterday. And they're away at Burnley in the Lancashire Derby Saturday night. And that's an 8 o'clock kickoff on Talksport. Well, the two teams back out at the Raiffeisen Arena in Linz. They will be last to get the second half underway in their white shirts with 3 black stripes down the front. Liverpool in their change kit of all purple. And we are back underway here on Talksport 2 with Liverpool trailing by a goal to nil, and no sign of any changes.
None. As I said, Jim, normally managers, when you've seen a half like you did, are reluctant to make changes straight away. You probably will look at 15 minutes into the second half, and if nothing's changed as far as you get yourself back into it, then you'll look to the bench to try and turn things around.
I saw Liverpool lining up: Kelleher in goal, Bajcetic, Konate, Van Dijk and Tsimikas, Gravenberch, Endo and Elliott, Doak, Nunez and Diaz, the front 3. The bench: Gomez, Robertson, Matip and Kwanzaa, McAllister, Soboslai and Jones, Salah, Gakpo and Jota, and the keepers Jarosz and Alisson for Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, as Konate has the ball at his feet inside his own penalty area. He and Bajcetic both booked for Liverpool in that first half. The play down towards Stefan Bajcetic. His ball down the right-hand touchline just evades Ben Doak. It's squeezed down the touchline. The pace was perfect, but just not quite the angle. It rolled over the line and out of play. And Jurgen Klopp shoots a filthy look back to those representing his club inside his own half.
Well, he wasn't happy, Jim, there with... I'm not sure if it was Bajcetic or Konate, but someone should have played the ball quicker down the right-hand channel, because there was a lot of space to run into. Just took too long to make up the mind, and the space was denied then. And that was why he was just having a word with one or two of his players, just to do things a bit quicker.
And now a stumble from one of the LASK defenders gives Nunez the opportunity to try and break forward down the right-hand side. He's won a throw. Mo Salah on the Liverpool bench, but getting ready. I don't think his introduction is too far away. Konate has the ball. He's played it back to Kelleher, just outside his own penalty area. 4 from him for Virgil van Dijk, and back for Quaveen Kelleher again. A couple of minutes into the second half here on Talksport 2, where Liverpool trail 1-0.
Yeah, that's where I've just seen Bajcetic coming in from the right back position and the central position. He looks so much more comfortable in that area. They feel such. I wonder if the manager might think of him. I'm not sure he could play in that right back role. If he's making a change that way, and maybe take off Endo and put Bajcetic in a more central position.
Endo has it now, and has just lost possession, beaten to it. Flecker, the goal scorer, playing it forward, but it was just hit and hope, and he overhit it by some distance, and he goes through for Kelleher again. What have you made of Endo's start?
He's not done a great deal. He's not really been involved in the build-up play, and it's a position where you can get a lot of the ball. You know, you're not put under an enormous amount of pressure, so you really should be getting on it more often than not and setting play up from that central position.
Long switch of play out of the Liverpool left-hand side. Diaz back for Gravenberch to Elliott. Elliott trying to spoon the ball over the top. It's cleared. Back for Gravenberch again. Tsimikas, whose delivery was excellent in that first half, trying to stand one up for Diaz. And it's headed away and out of play for a throw that will be taken over on the Liverpool left-hand side. But a good start to the second half for Liverpool. A good possession, and the territorial advantages come with it. Much better in the second half than they were in the first at Molineux after the tactical change that Jurgen Klopp made at the weekend. Hoping for more of the same in this game as well. Ball headed away from his own penalty area by Jovicic, out towards Flecker. As he kept it in, he has, and Liverpool might benefit from that. Ljubicic is back. His crossfield ball not the best. Seized upon by Bajcetic. Appeals for handball. Play goes on. Nunez has got it. Endo sliding in, loses it. And they might be able to break quickly again until the retreating Bajcetic times his challenge perfectly. Elliott tries to work one out towards Doak on the Liverpool right, but couldn't find him. And then Konate has to step up from the defensive line and clear. Now that goes out of play for a LASK throw.
I've got to say with Bajcetic there, he had to make sure he won the ball there. Been on a yellow card, isn't he? He went in for that challenge, and he was fully committed to winning it ahead of Ljubicic, and he just about got there ahead of the winger.
Now Tsimikas out towards the Liverpool left-hand side, and again a cross that deflects kindly for LASK, and they'll be able to clear. Liverpool will come again, the next phase of play. Diaz faced up by Flecker. Kingspan taking him on the outside, lays it back instead towards Elliott by the corner of the box. Now played back to Van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk to Konate in the centre of midfield. To Van Dijk again. Liverpool in their first Europa League campaign since Jurgen Klopp's first season at the club, the 15-16 campaign, the one in which he replaced Brendan Rodgers. Here's Diaz trying to work the angle. Nunez inside the penalty area and might be able to just waltz his way through. He couldn't quite, and it was cleared only after a fashion out towards Doak. Doak actually very well robbed of possession by the left wing back Renner, and Konate has to go up through the gears to stop the pacey Harvel being able to get to a long hopeful through ball. Van Dijk then sweeps it forward for Liverpool, but Diaz can't get it to stick. It's all a little bit scrappy again as he goes out of play for a throw.
Well, that's the worry for Liverpool when you push so many men forward. Every Liverpool player was in the last half. You know, you've seen how high up the pitch Konate was, Van Dijk, and there's so much space to run into if you lose it. But there's the recovery run of Konate. You're asking if he's fit or not, but there was a really good recovery run to get back and see off the danger.
Doak getting the ball back through the midfield. Elliott now out towards Endo. Endo to Tsimikas. Greek international takes a touch and works it back behind square. Liverpool still with measured, comfortable possession inside LASK territory. We're 6 minutes into the second half here on Talksport 2, but they continue to trail to that goal from Flecker, the right wing back from a set piece 14 minutes in. Elliott letting the ball run across him. He's got Doak screaming for it to his right hand side, and Doak is then fouled as he tries to find a way past Renner. And it's a free kick to Liverpool over on the right-hand touchline.
Yeah, he's a little bit fortunate there because there wasn't a great touch there initially from Doak, but Renner was committed to making the challenge on him, and he just got a little nudge on the ball to take it away from the full-back, just enough for him to collide with Doak and give away the free kick. And a good error to deliver the ball in from. Luis Diaz, instead of holding his width over on the left, keeps going into the central position. He's getting much closer to Darwin Nunez, and it's leaving Tsimikas that freedom to get down the left. But he doesn't look comfortable being there on his own, Tsimikas.
Tsimikas bending this free kick inside the penalty area towards the penalty spot, but first, second and third contact all came from LASK players. Liverpool can help it forward again, and Gravenberch will chase after a bouncing ball down towards the touchline. Has gone out, and it'll be a throw to Liverpool despite Andrade's best attempts to keep it in and work a LASK counter-attack.
He's quite an aggressive player, Andrade, isn't he, for that centre-back position. He's covered these other two centre-backs very well. There he was 1v1, and he looked so strong and powerful that he wanted the ball a little bit more on the Liverpool player. Fortunately for him, just give away the throw-in.
He was playing in German football until this summer. He was on the books of Arminia Bielefeld, but has made the move to Austria. He's had a good start to the campaign. LASK themselves have in general they're third in the table, unbeaten in 7. Liverpool, for their part, unbeaten in 16, a record that stretches back to April the 1st, when they were beaten, heavily beaten at Manchester City. But since then, 11 wins and 5 draws, scoring twice as many goals as they've conceded. Renner back inside his own penalty area, and with the aid of Lakenda, LASK can clear their lines. Out of play for another Liverpool throw, taken quickly by Doak. Back for Bajcetic. Konate to his left for Van Dijk. All of Liverpool's outfield players are in LASK territory. Bajcetic again, down for Doak. Doak very cleverly taking the ball on the half-turn. Bajcetic continuing his run. The options are to his left, including Ryan Gravenberch. Ball inside the penalty area, not the best. It'll break though for Endo. Endo to Doak. Doak stepping around the challenge, gets towards the byline, leaves another defender on his backside. Nunez will take over. Nunez getting to the byline, right-footed ball, chipped up towards the far post. But Gravenberch couldn't make the contact. It's headed away by the goal scorer Flecker. Now comes out for Van Dijk. Van Dijk bending in inside the penalty area. That one headed away by Andrade. Nunez helping it on. Elliott with a left-footed effort. That's straight into the nearest LASK defender. And the loose ball ricochets Doak's way on the right-hand touchline. And Liverpool will come again. Endo by Bajcetic making the run for the return ball. Elliott plays him in. Bajcetic across the face and goal. And somehow they can't get a body on the end of it to put it in. It's Luis Diaz with the challenge. And what's the verdict from the referee? Is he given a penalty?
I thought it was. I actually thought there was a lad on the line that actually handled it. We'll have to see how the replay pans out, Jim. But it looked when the ball was delivered across the 6-yard box and the Liverpool player got his shot on target. I thought it was a handball that I've seen. It was well worked down this right-hand side. Bajcetic was involved with Elliott, little 1-2, and he bent his cross it and then stopped just there. I'm not sure. I think it was Andrade who was in there, whether it came off his hand or not. And then there was a challenge on Luis Diaz. Nice play for Bajcetic, little feint to cross it, put it in the second attempt. And I'm not sure Andrade if it came off his arm or not. And then there was a challenge, Zairis, that he made on Luis Diaz just there, and he definitely mistimed it completely.
Yeah, that's
the
what
Liverpool
it is.
Player.
Yeah, Zairis sweeping the legs away. The VAR had a look at the incident, but the penalty award does stand, and Liverpool have an opportunity to get themselves back on level terms, and it's Darwin Nunez who will be taking.
Yeah, I'm looking round there, Jim, on the pitch to see who was going to take the penalty, because Virgil van Dijk went and picked the ball up, and you're waiting for him to pass the ball to the penalty taker. Darwin Nunez was about to strike it for Liverpool. He looked confident and comfortable, just as he can beat Lawal in the goal.
A couple of goals for him this season at Newcastle. Can he add to it here? Right-footed, he hits it. Goalkeeper went the right way, but he's beaten him for pace. And Liverpool are back on level terms. Darwin Nunez from the spot. It's LASK 1, Liverpool 1.
No more than they deserve, Jim, over the course of the 56 minutes being played so far. They have been the dominant side. Just the final ball hadn't been quite there, and picked out a teammate in the best positions. But there was a poor challenge by the defender, wasn't it, on Luis Diaz that gave away the penalty. But he never looked like he was going to miss, did he? When he stepped up to take it, he hit it, as you said, with such power and precision. It just gave the keeper no chance whatsoever. Keeper's gone the right way, but there's no chance he's going to keep that out. Excellent penalty from Darwin Nunez, and there's the delight on his face that he's got his team back on level terms.
LASK looking for an immediate response from the kickoff. Horvat bending it inside the area. Harvey Elliott is back to be able to head it away. Now Van Dijk winning a second header and Endo a third around the edge of the penalty area. Liverpool back on level terms. It trailed for 42 minutes. But you would imagine that is the platform built for them to be able to turn this around completely and win. Lubicic trying to take it on inside the Liverpool penalty area, and then Jovicic just down that little bit too long in the midfield and was dispossessed. Liverpool looked to try and break quickly. Doak's quick. Oh, the goalkeeper got away with one. Poor first touch as he came out to act as the sweeper keeper, and his touch very nearly let him down. He just poked it away from Doak. Kanate will be able to mop up as LASK try and work it through the midfield. That equalising goal for Liverpool has opened it right up. Here's Havel towards the edge of the penalty area. His right footed shot, saved by the diving Kelleher. And Bajcetic wins the second. The offside flag is up, and it will be a free kick which will be taken by Liverpool inside their own box. Good response from LASK.
Yes, certainly has been a good response from LASK. It's what the game's needed, really, Liverpool, to get that equaliser. You know, the support now from the LASK fans getting behind their side. They're getting numbers forward. Havel done really well. It's a really good shot that he's hit, but you can see that Lubicic was in an offside position when Kelleher made the save. He was the first to react to it, so that's why the assistant's flag went up. Good save from Kelleher. He's really been redundant, as he hasn't really had a great deal to do, but when called upon there, got down smartly to his right hand side to make the save.
So Liverpool back on level terms. Aston Villa trail again for the third time in the game away to Legia Warsaw. It's Legia 3, Villa 2. Zrinski 1, AZ 3. The other game in that group, Aberdeen on level terms at Eintracht Frankfurt. That's 1-1. HJK leading Pout 1-0 the other game in that one. The other game in this group, incidentally, Toulouse lead in Belgium by a goal to nil. So Liverpool are going to make some changes. We're going to see McAllister, Soboslai and Gomez all come on.
Yeah, just wonder what positions they'll take up. It seems like the midfield will have a new look to it. I'm not sure if Gravenberch will come off. Will it be Harvey Elliott? Certainly with McAllister and Szoboszlai coming on. I'd like to see McAllister a little bit higher up, Jim. I think he's a much more influential player, a bit higher up the field, because he's got good vision. He can see the pass. When he plays a little bit deeper, I don't think you get the best out of him. And certainly if you've got Endo and Bajcetic, you don't have to bring the pair of them up, because Joe Gomez will certainly come on at right back, I would imagine.
Yeah, he started all 5 Premier League games so far for Liverpool, Alexis McAllister, 4 of them in the number 6 role. And the win at Newcastle, he did play that little bit further forward when he had Endo in behind him on Endo's only league start so far. It'll be interesting to see who plays where. Bajcetic might move into the midfield to accommodate Gomez's arrival, so it could be potentially all 3 of the starting midfielders might go off. We'll find out soon enough. Pauk have equalised away to HJK Helsinki. 1-1, that's a Conference League goal in Aberdeen's group. So numbers 2, 8 and 10 all ready for action for Liverpool. They'll be coming on. First change, a Soboslai, and he'll replace Endo. Ben Doak is coming off as well by the look of it. Dominic Soboslai, the first of the Liverpool players to make his way on. Bajcetic is coming off, so Gomez will replace him in a straight swap at right.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? Just a bit of experience coming on with McAllister. You know, he'll be the one, the architect, just to get on the ball and make things happen. A little change as far as the midfield is concerned. Gomez will be right back, and then you'll have McAllister, Szoboszlai and Elliott. I think did Doak come off?
Yes. So they're going to have to try and shuffle things around a little bit. It's a question of who's going to play on the right-hand side of the front 3. It's got Gravenberch, Elliott, McAllister and Soboslai.
Yeah, Gravenberch could go over there, so Elliott could go over there. You know, they've got players who could play on that right-hand side. I don't think there'll be a problem for either of the 2 players who could play there.
Well, they've got some defending to do, though, first, Liverpool. LASK's first corner of the second half. In from Horvat. Kelleher comes out. Got double fist to it to get it away. Header back into the fray. Brought down intelligently, and needed Van Dijk to get a touch in to steer it away from Lubicic. And out of play for another quarter.
Yeah, that was better from Kelleher, though, wasn't it? It was more commanding inside his 18-yard box, coming there and two hands to push it outside the box. But then when he returned the ball back into Ljubicic, Van Dijk didn't realise that Zulia was behind him, and then when he looked round, he realised, and that's what forced him into making the kick out for a corner.
So it's an away swinging corner. Horvat takes it. He's on duty from both flanks. Nobody quite sure where the ball had bounced inside the area. Zulia with a left-footed shot. Kelleher got a left foot to it to deflect it over the bar. I think the offside flag might be up anyway, but Liverpool just weren't sure where the ball had gone. It was one of the old spot the ball competitions from 1974. Ball up in the air. Everybody thought looking around, 6-10 feet up, and it was right down on the deck.
I was looking at Andrade, the centre back, and he was the one. He was looking everywhere apart from where the ball was. But he was quite rightly chopped off because there was 2 or 3 of the last players who were in an offside position.
Elsewhere, Sheriff have equalised at home to Roma. 1-1 in the Europa League. Slavia Prague got 2 up away at Servette. Here come Liverpool, Gravenberch. Great ball inside the penalty area, and Liverpool lead by 2-1. Luis Diaz on the end of it. That is devastating counter-attacking football. One ball down the right-hand side. Gravenberch chasing after it. First time cross was delicious. Luis Diaz couldn't miss. It's LASK 1, Liverpool 2.
That's devastating football, isn't it? That's top quality from Liverpool. Harvey Ellie with the outside of the left foot, ball down the right channel there for Gravenberch, and made a great run. He didn't have to look up. He knew instinctively that Luis Diaz was in the middle. It was all about the quality of the delivery, and he hit it across the 6-yard box with such pace there was absolutely no chance whatsoever for the goalkeeper to get anywhere near it. First class finish from Diaz, but a brilliant ball from Gravenberch to put him into that position, and the goalkeeper, he just fell to his knees. He knew he could do nothing to keep it out. Such was the pace of the strike from Luis Diaz, and Liverpool have turned this around. 1-0 down, they find themselves 2-1 up.
Turned it around again. There have been 3 Premier League games this season where they've conceded the first goal. They've won them all. Against Bournemouth, at Newcastle, at Wolves. And are they going to add LASK Linz to the list? Trailing in this game by a goal to nil. 2 in 7 minutes around the hour mark have put the game now firmly in Liverpool's favour.
I said, Jim, before the game, well, one of the things you will get with Liverpool this season is plenty of goals. They've got such a threat all over the pitch, but particularly in the attacking areas.
Flecker trying to cross one in, Kelleher can catch it, and then we'll bowl it out and try and get Liverpool going. Ray, what is it? I've seen a lot of Liverpool that makes them so much of a better team in the second half of games than they are in the first.
Don't you think Jurgen Klopp and his coaching staff will be looking up to say, why is that happening? Because they've been slow, too slow in possession. I wouldn't say anything was wrong with the first half performance. I thought they got into really good areas. They put some lovely crosses in. You know, on another day, Nunez could have had 3, couldn't he? He's had 2 fabulous headers. Well, the second one, Lawal's made a save that he's never going to make again, where he's instinctively just threw his hands at it and kept it out. So the performance from Liverpool in the first half was better than I've seen in some of the other games where they've gone behind. But they've got to learn a way that they start the game really strongly and pass it quicker.
So they're in their 6th game of the season in all competitions. In the first half of the games, they've scored 5 and conceded 5. In the second half, they've scored 9, conceded none.
Yeah. So they're maybe taking a little bit of speed to get into games. Maybe they've switched off in that first half. I mean, the goal that LASK got, you know, is avoidable. It's a routine that they've got from a set play, from a corner, which Liverpool didn't deal with. You know, they're not getting out quickly enough to it. But look at the difference. Look how quicker Liverpool are in possession ball in the second half as well. They're moving it quicker. They're not taking as many touches out. Yeah, McAllister's just given away there, but it was the right ball to play out to Tsimikas. But they're moving it quicker, so the opposition can't get close enough to close them down.
Now Aberdeen behind again in the Conference League, 2-1 down now in Germany against Eintracht Frankfurt. Eintracht 2, Aberdeen 1. Villa behind as well in that competition. Legia Warsaw leading 3-2. Liverpool have turned this around. They were 1 down. They're 2-1 up now as we approach the midway stage of the second half here on Talksport 2. Former Liverpool midfielder Ray Houghton alongside me, Jim Playerfoot, watching on. Loa, the goalkeeper for LASK, plays it outside his penalty area. LASK with a very good home record in Europe. They've lost only 3 of their last 22 home games in continental football to run the stretches back to the turn of the century. Well, one of those defeats came against English opposition. And it looks as though this one will as well. Gomez for Liverpool at right back for Konate. Konate turned forward towards the edge of the centre circle. Soboslai, so neat and tidy in possession, just gliding forward through the midfield. And what a ball that is! Left-hand side of the penalty area was Diaz trying to play it across. Couldn't find Nunez. Goes out of play for a throw.
Brilliant from Soboslai, wasn't it? The way he just came forward from that central position. As I said, Jimmy, he looks like he's been playing for Liverpool for years. He's got top quality, great athlete, good with running the ball, decent pace about him. And there's a lovely bit of vision with the through ball for Luis Diaz. And he's done the right thing. He's seen Nunez was in the central position. He tried to fire it across low and hard early, just lost his foot as he was trying to deliver the ball, which took it behind Nunez and made it easier for the last defender to clear the danger.
LASK are about to make a double change, and they're going to be bringing on a couple of strikers. Moussa Kone will replace Ljubicic. Kone, Senegalese striker who signed from Nîmes in French football, scored twice on his debut in the Cup. So played in this competition in the past as well for Zurich. And the other change will see Havel coming off, and he's replaced by the Ghanaian Ibrahim Mustafa, who they signed from Red Star Belgrade.
So just the two white players for LASK that have come off. They've done okay, they've got a bit of energy about them. They had spells in that first half for a few minutes where they looked threatening. But with the way Liverpool are playing now, they're completely dominating.
It was very nearly a question of the commentator's curse as the ball was played in towards Mustafa, who chested it down, but it was just knocked away from him. It had a play. You weren't sweating in fairness.
Gomez had it covered all the way there, Jim.
The ball is on the Liverpool left. They lead by 2-1, trailed at half-time. But good value for the advantage now. Nunez from the penalty spot on 56 after Diaz was fouled. Diaz then tapping in a wonderful Gravenberg cross 7 minutes later to give Liverpool this 2-1 advantage. The next European tie that they play Liverpool at home to the Belgian side, Saint-Gilloise, on match day 2, and the Belgians still trail at home to Toulouse in the other game in this group tonight. Zulia playing it down the right-hand side, upended by Gravenberg. Referee might revisit that in a moment. It's played on for now. Ball in towards Kone. Mustafa will try on the edge of the area to get himself into a shooting position. It's cleared though, and Liverpool can work it away. Now LASK aren't happy because Zulia's still down injured. They had ample opportunity to put the ball out of play so he could receive treatment if they wanted. It's not up to Liverpool to stop the game, it's up to the referee. Here's Elliott playing it back for Soboslai. McAllister to Diaz, to Gravenberg, and towards Diaz again. And Diaz now will indicate to the referee that perhaps he should stop things.
Well, the referee should have pulled out a little bit earlier than that. Zulia was down for quite a time. And you're quite right though, they had every opportunity, the last players, to play the ball out of play. He actually went past McAllister just came in. He looked like he had his forearm caught Zulia. Zulia was holding his face. I'm not sure how much force was actually put into. He's just having his teeth looked at here by the medical staff. Liverpool have been good value for this 2-1 advantage though, Jim. You would have seen Liverpool last season. It looks like there's a different energy about them now, doesn't it? Particularly in that midfield. It looks like there's a lot more pace to their play. You've got, Soboslai running forward, Gravenberg making runs forward.
Yeah, as a neutral, it certainly felt as though Liverpool needed a reboot, and I think that they'd be the first to admit that. A number of players leaving the club over the summer, and the replacements by and large have settled in very well. This game, in terms of the stats, Liverpool with 2/3 of the possession, 67-33, 12 shots to 7 in their favour, with 3 attempts on target to 2. But you feel as though their dominance is actually a little bit more far-reaching than that. Certainly in terms of XG, they're about a goal and a half ahead. They lead by 2-1. We've got 20 minutes to go.
If you look at the starting position, I just looked a little bit a few seconds ago when they were going forward. They still had the ball in their own half. But looking where Tsimikas was, he was up in the left wing. Diaz came into a central position. Tsimikas is running forward like a left winger. That shows you the confidence and the belief in the team. The regard for the opposition isn't quite there anymore. They don't really believe that they can get back into it. That's what it looks like to me. Liverpool are thinking, how many goals can we score in this game? They've just got to be careful that they don't push too many men forward, leave themselves vulnerable to the counter-attack. That's the only thing that they'll be looking at. Make sure defensively, keep professional and nice and solid.
Andrade playing his centre half, chipping the ball to his right hand side for Zirajs, who gave the penalty away. His ball forward headed to safety by Liverpool by Canate, and then Gravenberch can pick it up and will turn, and he's got 30 yards of green grass ahead of him with options either side, and he had two cracks and tried to find Diaz and couldn't find him with either.
Yeah, that was a tired pass there, wasn't it, from Gravenberch? I'm not sure how fit he is. I think that's one of the things the manager has questioned. You know, he's new to the club. He's done well to get back into a defensive position here, but that should have been a 1v1 situation for Luis Diaz. It was an easy ball. It wasn't a tough ball from Gravenberch to play. Just an easy one. Now he's got his hand up apologising to his teammates because he knew a 3v2 situation like that, they should have worked it a lot better than they did.
Kone's offside. It's a free kick to Liverpool. In terms of the other British teams, Villa still trailing 3-2 away to Legia Warsaw. Some comeback in the other game in that group, though. The Bosnian side, Zrinski, who were 3 down at home to Wales, they got it back to 3-3 with a couple of quick goals there. Aberdeen are 2-1 down away to Eintracht Frankfurt. The other game in their group is all square between HJK and PAOK. Gravenberch is down, and Jurgen Klopp's got a number of substitutes warming up. As you mentioned, it was a very tired attempt as he made that run forward a few moments ago to play a pass to his left-hand side, and he's now down in need of treatment.
I'm not sure if it's fatigue or he picked up an injury when he ran back to help out defensively. I think I've seen Curtis Jones getting warmed up. Mo Salah's got his top off as well, which will be bad news for the last players. Well, listen, they look tired. If I'm being honest, they look a bit jaded. They look like they've put so much energy in. And Renner, who's the left wing back, you know, he's given his all in this game. I've just seen him try to run back early, and he was a real tough ask for him. And now he's going to be up against Mo Salah.
Yeah, how's your luck? Just when you're feeling that little bit of fatigue in your legs, here comes Mo Salah. Salah, who's scored 188 goals in 310 Liverpool games. A massive disparity between his home form and his away form, though. Scored it in 11 of his last 12 home games. Away from home, he's scored in only 2 of his last 18.
Yeah, and he made, in my opinion, 3 at the weekend against Wolves.
Assists.
So long as he keeps assisting, it won't bother me. Not always about the individual scoring, it's about the team ethic. And he certainly he's doing more of that.
Yeah, he's come on here to replace Gravenberch, and he's involved in the thick of the action straight away with a little 1-2 with Gomez. Salah has scored or assisted now in each of his last 11 Premier League matches.
I think that's beating his own record, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not bad.
He's just a phenomenal player. There's times in the games he's not really involved. So he'll do something magical, and that's what the big players do, Jim. You can't keep them quiet for the full 90 minutes. They'll do something that will change the game. That's the quality that Mo's got.
And Liverpool on the front foot again. Salah instrumental in playing it in for Elliott. It'll break for Salah. Left-footed bobbler, which hit Lakenda and went to safety. Soboslai tries to whack it in. That cross is blocked. Back he goes for Joe Gomez. Liverpool leading 2-1, but looking the more likely side to score the 4th goal of the night. Gomez actually then dispossessed by the substitute Mustafa. A little 1-2, we'll see the Senegalese striker make his way forward down the left flank. Back it goes from him to Horvath. Mustafa has it again, he stayed onside. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Trying to buy a yard from Joe Gomez, couldn't do so. And Liverpool will be able to win it back down by the corner flag and clear through the midfield for Salah. And now it goes out to the Liverpool left-hand side for Diaz. 2-1.
Every time Liverpool go forward, they look like they're going to score, don't they? They're going to create at least a chance. Just Joe Gomez there. Joe's going to get into the team on a regular basis. He's got to sort his feet out quicker than he did there. It takes too long to make up his mind when he's going to go over the pass, and it allowed Mustafa to come in and take the ball off him. Then his recovery run wasn't great to get back into a defensive position. But Liverpool looked threatening, and they just get the 3rd goal and see the game off.
Salah trying to provide it here. The ball thrashed inside the penalty area for Diaz. Cleared before it got there. And it's a LASK ball. 14 minutes to go. LASK 1, Liverpool 2 in a game that the Austrians led for 40 minutes after Flecker's superbly taken opener. Nunez equalising from the penalty spot after Diaz was fouled. Diaz himself, 7 minutes later, just after the hour mark, able to fire Liverpool ahead for the first time of the night after a brilliant ball in from Ryan Gravenberch.
You were saying about LASK and the run that they've been on in home form, but they don't play against this level of opposition that often. You know, and I think that's what's been shown in this game for me. It's particularly in the second half. Liverpool have dominated it, and the last players, you know, to their credit, they've given their all, good attitude, fully committed, but they just look like they've lost their way as far as creativity is concerned, and looking a little bit tired, a little bit jaded.
Little nutmeg. Joe Gomez, the player that was beaten. Stafford will chase down the left flank, but the ball has beaten him over the line. It's out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Praveen Kelleher. They have got, in fairness, a decent European pedigree. They were in the group 4 years ago in the Europa League. They won it, and they were in a group with PSV and Sporting Lisbon. So, on their day, they have been able to produce some decent results, but there was
you never got a feeling, Jim, that when they went 1-0 up, they were going to add to it, did they, or take the game away from Liverpool. I never sensed that. You know, it was always like Liverpool had the better possession, a bit more quality, but just not the players getting in the right area inside the 6-yard box, never mind the 18-yard box. And the longer the game's gone on, Liverpool have just got better, got the goals at the right time, and you can see now the little niggly free kicks they're giving. That's a sign of tiredness, and that's the problem with the last players at the moment. You know, great credit to them. You know, they've put an awful lot into the game, but it looks like they're just going to come up short.
Lukanedo's beginning to struggle against Mo Salah's fresh legs, and the left-footed of the three centre-halves has given another free kick away here. It's taken short, in from Tsimikas. It's taking a couple of little ricochets through the penalty area before LASK can clear. 12 minutes to go, Liverpool lead at 2-1. Tsimikas taking the ball on the turn, in the inside right position for a moment. Horvath, who's shown up pretty well, wins the ball back, gets it clear down towards Kone. Horvath will take over again, over the halfway line. Mustafa with pace, Gomez with a head start, and he came back to cover. And the whistle's gone, and it's a Liverpool free kick.
Yeah, well, there once again, Liverpool just guilty of overplaying. Once again, Tsimikas, he's in an unfamiliar position. He's up on the right-hand side rather than his left-back position. And when the ball comes in, he's not got a picture of where he wants to go with it. He's got his head down, he's taking a touch and a touch and a touch, and then suddenly he looks up to see who's there and support, and it's too late. And then the ball's taken off of him. There's a ball played down the left channel, trying to pick out Mustafa. It looked like it's just gone ahead of Joe Gomez in an offside position.
LASK making another change. Lukaneda comes off, and Darboe has come on to replace him. The Gambian international is on loan from Roma, and he's coming on for his LASK debut with 10 minutes to go. Liverpool leading 2-1 in the Conference League. Villa, the outright tournament favourites, 3-2 down away to Legia Warsaw. The other game in that group currently all square. Aberdeen losing at Eintracht Frankfurt 2-1. The other game in their group is also all square. The other game in Liverpool's group still led by Toulouse away to Union Saint-Gilloise. They're about 12 minutes behind this game, so they're just coming up to the midway stage of the second half in that. We've got 10 to go. LASK 1, Liverpool 2 on Talksport 2.
LASK have got a flat back four now. Rayner's going into that left full-back position. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on 1v1 against Mo Salah. He said how fresh Mo looks, and he certainly looks up for it. He'd love to score a goal in this game.
Well, we started the season playing with a flat back four, changed to a back three for the last 5 games. And so they are used to this. Renner is a more orthodox left back rather than a left wing back, really. Salah scooping one in beautifully with the outside of the left boot. Diaz throwing himself at it, but it's cleared. Goes out of play for a Liverpool throw. 10 to go, 2-1.
What a ball that was. Outside the left foot. It's the vision and the awareness, and he's smiling there, Mo Salah. He's put it into a fabulous area. Well, I've got to say Diaz wasn't too far away from getting his header on target there. Good pressure from the last defender, though, to put him off.
Now Liverpool are going to make their final change. Konate's coming off, and he'll be replaced in a like-for-like swap by Joel Matip.
Yeah, I think that's just precautionary, isn't it? Konate's been out for the last few weeks with injury problems. Came back as a sub against Wolves. I think he got about 10 or 15 minutes in that game. Needed minutes on the pitch this evening. He certainly got that for 80 plus minutes in this game, and that'll put him in a good position to get that starting berth against West Ham.
2-1 Liverpool lead. Throw taken quickly. Elliott flashing across through the 6-yard box. Salah first to it, and then put out of play by Renner for a throw that would be taken in the left-back position by the Aussies. Took a deflection on its way through.
He'll be happy, Jurgen, won't he? Overall, the scoreline remains the same. Whenever you go away in the competition, all you're looking for is to get a win, and I think the performance from the players has been decent. There's a few players that put the name in the hat for the selection for Sunday's match.
Home to West Ham on Sunday, and then Liverpool in action home to Leicester in the Carabao Cup next Wednesday. And next Tuesday and Wednesday we will have all of those Carabao Cup ties covered. Live commentaries on both Talksport and Talksport 2 on both nights of matches in the Carabao Cup next Tuesday and Wednesday here on Talksport 2 and over on Talksport as well. Ball play forward down the LASK left. They look as though they've lost energy, they've lost conviction, lost a little bit of self-belief, sensing that this one has long since run away from them, that it is going to be another defeat against English opposition.
Too many offside decisions as well, isn't it? It's about 3 or 4 in quick succession from Kone, and then Darboe trying to make something happen around the edge of the penalty area. The great comeback of the night is in the Conference League. Zrinski, the side that LASK beat to make it through to the Europa League, with 3 down at home to AZ Alkmaar, now lead 4-3. That's in Villa's group. Harvey Elliott from distance, a 25-yarder that bobbled, and the goalkeeper can make a comfortable save. Yeah, I don't think she took the shot on. The easy ball was out to the left-hand side, just retained possession. Luis Diaz was free as you like on that side of the field, and that would have been the better option for him. One of them ones where you're hoping they're going to beat the keeper rather than having the power from that area of the field to beat.
Now the other game in this group now all square. Saint-Gilloise have equalised at home to Toulouse. Here's Salah, the assist king of Liverpool, trying to play the ball through the midfield for Darwin Núñez, couldn't find him. LASK win it back. Flecker, their goal scorer, it seems a long time ago now. Little 1-2 out on the right-hand side, low ball in towards the near post. Matip's first touch of the night, a good one, just to stab it away. And out for a throw that the Captain Julia will come over to take. Taken quickly by him for Horvath. He drops his shoulder, gets past Elliott. Ball inside the penalty area, knocked away again by Matip, and how to play for another
Not
throw.
convincing for Matip, though, isn't it? Your body shape's all wrong there. That's why he's not kicking the ball downfield. He's coming square onto it. That's why he's taking it out to the far side and giving a throw in a way, which is in a good position. Flecker's the one that's going to throw it in here. They're going to take a long throw to put the back line of Liverpool under a bit of pressure here.
Flecker arching the back, doesn't get too much distance on it. A couple of players have gone down, and the referee has given a free kick in Liverpool's favour. Simi said that Tsimikas was fouled rather than being the guilty party. Gave himself a little bit of thinking time there, the Italian referee. Tsimikas has stayed down, but it will be a free kick to Liverpool to restart play. We're just seeing a replay of it, something that happened off the ball. Tsimikas just putting his arm out to try and block the run of Zirice in behind him.
Well, if you think back to the Celtic player last night, Blaga Bielka, which he got a second yellow for putting his arm across the player, didn't he, inside the box?
Yeah.
And Tsimikas has done something similar there.
Do you think that should have been a penalty?
Well, I don't think it was a sending off to him either. I do think that players are very very adept at throwing themselves to the floor when they've been merely touched. So, yeah, it's a difficult one, but we have to be given it. You have to say that.
Here's Joe Gomez bringing the ball forward for Liverpool. 4 minutes plus stoppage time away from a victory to start their European campaign. They're 2-1 up. Darwin Núñez taking towards the edge of the penalty area, and it's back from Elliott. Inside the centre circle is Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk clipping the ball, right-footed. Gomez didn't control it cleanly, takes it down towards the corner flag, then tries to buy a corner off the retreating Renner. Can't do so. Elliott winning it back though. Gomez just wanting a little bit more time in possession on the right-hand side, and he wins the throw off Darboe, which Liverpool will take level with the edge of the last box. Incidentally, the coming together between the two players and the ball all down by that corner flag. The pole stayed firmly in its mountings, but the flag came off the flagpole.
Running repairs from the sidelines there. But that's better from Liverpool. At this stage, we've got 3.5 minutes left of the 90-plus added on time. Just retain possession. You don't need the third goal. It's there if they want it, because they do look tired, the back line of LASK. But Liverpool now, it's all about ball retention. Just keep it nice and simple. Don't give any confidence to the opposition to come after you, or maybe get sight of your goal.
Kelleher, playing it forward, almost flicking it on. Soboslai with a little no-look ball through the midfield into the feet of Salah. Salah's presence allows Darwin Núñez to win it back from Andrade. Salah will take it on and slip it through the legs of the goalkeeper for 3. Job done.
Game, set, match, Jim, simple as that. What a finish. I think nutmegs the keeper, doesn't he? I mean, you were there where Andrade got caught. I was saying about looking tired. He just couldn't sort his feet out quickly enough. Darwin Núñez was onto him in the flash to win the ball. But there's Mo Salah. He just loves scoring goals, doesn't he? He just loves playing for the club. He loves being inside that 18-yard box. He's always a threat. Lovely feet, quick feet. Never panics, and then he just pushes it beyond the goalkeeper to make it 3-1 to Liverpool.
Yeah, another superb move. And he was instrumental in the start of it with his pressure, seeing Andrade and Ljubicic both losing possession. The finish just exquisite. Through the legs of the goalkeeper from a tight angle to make it through.
Yeah, I mean, Flecker comes across to try and put him under pressure, but just can't get anywhere near him. Then he holds off Andrade. He's done well to get back from the mistake that he made, but just look at the strength, the way he just moves his body from one side to the other. The arrogant little flick with his left foot beyond the keeper and the joy. Look at his manager. He knows he's just seen something a little bit special there from Mo Salah.
Yeah, Klopp in his black baseball cap, easy for me to say, clapping Mo Salah. Salah scoring his first Europa League goal since he netted for Roma away to Lyon in the knockout stages 7 seasons ago. And actually got that many Europa League goals in 28 ties that he's played in this competition beforehand. The first 3 that he ever scored, all against English opposition back in his Basel days. One against Tottenham, one at Chelsea, and then another one against Tottenham.
Now, if he plays in these group matches and if Liverpool go further, let me tell you, you'll get plenty this season.
Oh, absolutely. And up to 3 goals for the season in all competitions to go with his assists. Here's Joe Gomez. Bar for Renner is another change that has been made. Bello has come on as well, the American international fullback. He's dropped in Renner's position at left back. So LASK making their final changes with only 30 seconds of normal time remaining.
Yeah, the Liverpool all-round will be delighted with the performance, delighted with the victory. Keep that run of results going, which has been very impressive, Jim, from, as I said, last 11 games of last season, unbeaten. And the start of this season, they've done extremely well. It's all about Sunday now, that game against West Ham.
Yeah, this will extend the unbeaten record to 17 in all competitions as the latest Liverpool corner comes in. And it's headed away. It should be picked up easily enough by Diaz as we go into 5 minutes of added time at the end of this game. LASK 1, Liverpool 3. Núñez, Diaz and Salah in the second half. Soboslai bringing the ball forward towards the edge of the last penalty area. He's got Salah making it right outside him. It's time the ball to perfection. Back for Salah. Left footed clipped in from him. Headed away by Horvat. Back out towards Salah. Lazy but brilliant control from him. Lazy looking but brilliant control from Salah as he just took a step back and caught the ball on the top of his left foot and then flicked it back to Soboslai. Those two have a really good understanding.
Yeah, I speak highly enough of Soboslai and what he's done since he's come to the club. He's just got so much energy. He's a very accomplished footballer. Working well, as you say, with a lot of players in the team. Just fitted in seamlessly, hasn't he?
Good little 1-2 between Elliott and Salah, and then Salah didn't make the run. But then Elliott was anticipating and immediately raised the left hand by way of apology. Looked like a bad pass. And Salah acknowledging the fact that he didn't make the run that Elliott could well have demanded of him. Liverpool leading by 3 goals to 1. The only one of the British sides ahead in Europe, both Aberdeen and Villa losing their respective games in the Conference League, with time fast running out there in the last 3 minutes of those games. West Ham, the Rangers and Brighton all in action in matches that kick off at 8 o'clock. We'll keep you updated with the progress of all three over on Talksport throughout the course of the evening. This one approaching the third minute of stoppage time. The ball is with Bello. The American has lost it, and an opportunity for Liverpool to try and bring it forward again. Soboslai down to the Liverpool right flank for Mo Salah. Salah flicking it back. One back in the midfield by Horvat, and he's won a free kick which will be taken on the left-hand touchline by LASK. They've taken it quickly, worked forward, high ball from Jovicic out to the right flank. Darboe losing out, Kone trying to get in there, but Liverpool with Van Dijk can find Soboslai with minimal backlift, just chipping a beautiful ball out towards Diaz on the left flank. His delightful little flick back in towards Darwin Núñez sees him win a corner.
A good sign for the manager is even at this stage of the game, like we're into the third minute of added on time, but the Liverpool players still look fresh, don't they? Still look like they've got plenty of energy about them. You've just seen Soboslai, I know he's gone as a sub, but he played the ball over the top for Luis Diaz, who's been on from the start of the game, and this pace down that left hand side to get away from his defender initially. Very impressive. Manager will be happy enough with the youngsters that have come in, and particularly the likes of Virgil van Dijk and Konate getting the minutes that they have.
In comes this latest Liverpool corner, plenty of air underneath it. It's volley cleared by Bello. Elliott winning the seconds outside the penalty area. Goes back for Gomez. Gomez all the way back to Praveen Kelleher. That pressure little to do, really, the Irishman in the Liverpool goal. Beaten by an all but unstoppable shot in the first half, and hardly had a save to make since. Probably only one shot on target.
Yeah, the one in the second half. Remember when he got down smartly to his right to make the save. Apart from that, hasn't had a great deal to do. I mean, he's very accomplished with the ball at his feet, and he doesn't panic. He passes out from the back that you expect from a Liverpool goalkeeper. Just the fact he doesn't get many games. It must be difficult when you're sitting on the bench week in, week out. You've got nothing to look forward to.
It's only his 22nd first team game for Liverpool at the age of 24. He's been at the club a long time for 22 matches, but I would imagine he'll see the light of day plenty of times in this game and in this run over the course of the season. And it's been a good start by Liverpool. They have made it through to the knockout phase in all three Europa League campaigns in which they've played in the past. It would be a major shock, with the draw being quite kind if they didn't extend that run. But this has been a second half performance that doesn't even justify their favouritism for the competition. They have been very good against mid-ranking European opposition today, particularly in the second period. Ball out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Liverpool left-hand side, barely time to take.
Yeah, well, the last players came into this game as the last fans, hoping and thinking that they might do something because of the form that they've shown this season in Europe. You mentioned about the form at home in Europe. It's been pretty decent, but they've come up against a superior opposition who've just been too good for them.
And Liverpool have won by 3-1. Same story as we saw at the weekend. The Reds conceding an early goal, found themselves behind at half-time, but it was a better performance than that they mustered in the Black Country in the first half, and the second half improvement took them away from the Austrians. Only the fourth home tie that they have lost this century in Europe. Liverpool, very, very impressive winners. Núñez equalising from the penalty spot 11 minutes into the second half after Ziyech fouled Diaz. Diaz himself scored, tapping in a brilliant Gravenberg cross, and then Mo Salah came off the bench. Wonderful little cameo from him, some sublime touches, and nutmeg the goalkeeper from a tight angle to give Liverpool a deserved 3-1.
Yeah, job well done as far as Liverpool's concerned, but potential banana skin this was, wasn't it, with the form that we've seen from LASK, with the home support that was behind them. Liverpool not playing well at the weekend in the first half, much better in the second. But I thought their attitude throughout was very, very good. A lot of young players coming in, experienced players who needed minutes on the pitch, all did what they had to do. And even when they go a goal behind now, Liverpool, and they've done it quite a few times this season, they don't panic because they know they've got real quality. They've got a goal threat, and that was proven in that second half of the 3 goals that they got. Jim, it could have been more than that. It could have easily been more than that with the chances that Liverpool created. But you know what? It's about building. And once again, it's another victory to take into the game against West Ham on Sunday.
It was the 4th time this season already in all competitions that Liverpool have come from behind to win. That is an admirable statistic, but it will concern Jurgen Klopp that they've been behind in 4 games by the stage of the season.
Yeah, it will. There's no doubt. We'll be looking at the reasons behind that. But have a look at how many goals they've scored, Jim. 2 against Newcastle, 3 against Bournemouth, 3 against Bournemouth, 3 against Wolves, 3 against Aston Villa, 3 again tonight. So as I've said to you before, looking at Liverpool, what I've seen of them, what they've got about them, they're going to score plenty of goals this season because they've got real quality in the top third of the field where it matters most. If they defend well, defend as a unit well, they're going to have a big season.
From the point that Liverpool are right now, what constitutes a successful season? What's an acceptable season for West Park?
Certainly in the top 4, and I don't think there's any reason why that can happen with the quality they've got and the depth of squad that they've got, and a trophy. At Liverpool, it was about trophies. What did you win? At the end of the season, what was in that trophy cabinet? That's what Liverpool's always been about. That's what this manager is about, and he'll be putting demands on this squad of players to make sure that everyone is right for the season ahead. The problem you might have in that is when you have key injuries to big players. You can't legislate for that. You've just got to hope you've got enough depth in your squad that you can compensate when they're out the team. I think Liverpool have got that.
No disrespect to Brighton and West Ham and to Rangers as well, but do you expect Liverpool to win this competition?
I certainly think they're going to have a big say in who wins it. It will all be dependent on where they are in the league. And so the nearer you get to maybe take the Man City all the way, or whatever the case may be, that's what they'll be looking at. But the manager has said this is a very important tournament for them.
Well, the other game in this group, in Liverpool's group, is still ongoing. 4 minutes to go. Saint-Gilloise 1, Toulouse 1. Elsewhere tonight, Bayer Leverkusen 4, Häcken 0. Panathinaikos have beaten Villarreal 2-0. Karabakh 1, Molde 0. Rennes 3, Maccabi Haifa 0. Sheriff Tiraspol 1, Roma 2, deep in stoppage time. In the Conference League, Aston Villa beaten in Poland by 3-2 by Legia Warsaw. Aberdeen 2-1 down, deep in stoppage time, away to Eintracht Frankfurt. But Liverpool got the job done. A goal down at half-time, but comfortably coming back in the second half. A class told in the end. It was a deserved 3-1 success. Updates from all of the Europa League games involving British clubs will be with you from 8 o'clock over on Talksport. Now, though, here on Talksport 2, it's EFL All Access with Hugh Wozenproff.